Robert from Quick Games here. I wanted to share a way to make D&D miniatures and do them on the cheap. So I want to show a little process that I went through to actually turn uh, what are these HeroClix figures into something that'll be serviceable on your table. Now you can get bags of HeroClix on check out eBay and other places. It was a game that they had these larger bases that had a little slider that goes around. I mean, it's a pretty neat game in and of itself. And there's different varieties of figures that are around. This kind of set in here had a lot of different weapons and guns and that type of thing, but there's a lot of different types out there. You just have to kind of look around, get a big lot of these things. If you look in here, there's some bits and pieces in that bag. But there's also um, these are more kind of mechanical, but there's also like fantasy style figures. So if you look in this bag, this is a bag of a bunch of different beasts and kind of fantasy style creatures. Anyway, they had a lot of different types. But see if you can't find a large lot of these types of figures. All right, once you have those in hand, you're going to debase them. So that's just a matter of taking an X-Acto and just removing them from the bases. You'll pop them off. You actually, I mean, if you really wanted to, you could play with them as is like this. I do have a number of D&D miniatures which have a specific base. It's all black, so I kind of like having the same base for each one. So it's pretty easy to do actually. And these are Reaper bases. These are 1 inch. You can get 1 inch and 2 inch styles. I also got washers, which I spray paint black, and then I glue them inside to give it a little more weight on the bottom. But you'll take off the miniatures from the bases very carefully. And then if you notice these ones, um, I used, this is Army Painter Strong Toed Quick Shade. This is kind of a pigment suspended in kind of like a polyurethane type of thing. When you layer it on, it'll go into the cracks and crevices. It'll leave a little bit of sheen on top. That's why they also make this. This is a matte anti-shine finish. You want some sort of finish over the top of things so your paint doesn't chip. So you might as well use something like this in tandem with the two together. But if you use those two and you spray paint, you get a matte finish, which takes off that sheen, and then it'll darken up the models. And then here's an example of a before and after, right? So this is the original HeroClix miniature. And then this one, I haven't glued him down to the base yet, but you can see how the quick shade just get in all the nooks and crannies on the side. And here's another really good example. So here's the original side by side here, and then there's the mini with the quick shade. You can tell how it just gets in all the nooks and crannies. And once you have something like this, it mixes pretty well with the standard miniatures. So these two are WizKids official miniatures on the table. And once you get it rebased, about the same size, and you put the quick shade on it to make it a little bit better than the super bright stark contrast. I mean, unless you really like that those bright colors, you can skip that step. But that looks pretty good. Side by side on the table, works pretty well. And here's an example. Of course, these ones all have guns. They do have ones that don't. But just look how again, I need to glue him down to the base. But just look at the cloak on the back, right? So pretty decent detail for not a lot of work. Literally, I just took the quick shade, wiped it all across, let it dry for a day, spray paint it with a matte finish, and you get some pretty good results. Now, normally, if you were to purchase something like this, they'd be coming in a pack. Maybe you get, for about $16, you get maybe 3 or 4 minis in a box. So you're looking at maybe like $4 for a mini, and you don't know exactly what you're going to get. For a large pack of this on eBay, you can easily find lots for, let's say, 30 bucks, and it's a whole bunch of them, right? The quick shade sells for about $30, but you get enough to last forever, right? I mean, this is like you can do hundreds of models with this. And then the spray primer was around $10 or so. But at the end of the day, you get miniatures that you can rebase. Didn't have to do any painting because the HeroClix come pre-painted, but not a bad way to get lots of miniatures in a hurry. If you want to see more videos, like or subscribe on YouTube. You can find us going to youtube.critgames.com or just search YouTube for Crit Games. We put stuff up on Twitter pretty regularly, so check us out at Crit Games LLC or on Instagram, Crit Games. Visit our website, critgames.com, and as always, game on.